That's a red flag right away. Okay.
Brian King has sifted through countless fake IDs, allegedly used to commit real estate fraud. The private investigator has been hired by a title insurance company to find those responsible.
Right now we have 30 active files, at least 30.
And that's just here in the GTA?
Yeah.
Many of King's cases involve individuals using fake ID to impersonate a legitimate homeowner. They then place a new or second mortgage on the home and take off with the proceeds. He also has cases where people use fake ID to rent homes. Once they get the keys, others impersonate the real homeowners and sell the property. Again, taking off with the money.
Typically it's organized crime that's behind it. The people that actually are front-facing on the frauds, the people using the IDs, posing as the homeowners, are not the ultimate people that are receiving the funds. They're usually paid stand-ins.
Of King's 30-plus cases, 4 involve a home sold without the owner's knowledge. But there are more than that. There are 3 other title insurance companies in Canada, in addition to the one King works for. They step in when these types of frauds happen to cover costs and get the home back to the true owner. These companies tell CBC News they too have seen cases of stolen homes, and not just here in Toronto.
They're largely happening in the Greater Toronto area and the Greater Vancouver area.
Experts say the number of cases started picking up in late 2019 and estimate title insurance companies have lost around $200 million in title and mortgage fraud cases since then.
We went from 0 of those claims to now many dozens of those claims. It's not sustainable over the long term, so we really need the whole real estate industry working together to weed out these fraudsters.
We're seeing a level of sophistication in that area that we've never seen before. It's very organized.
Given the volume of cases, some are wondering why there's been so little attention.
We were told over and over and over again that we were the only people. This was such a rare situation.
Melissa Walsh's 95-year-old great-uncle nearly lost his home in Toronto's East End after these fake IDs were used to rent his home. Someone else then impersonated him to list it for sale.
Hearing that this has happened to potentially over 30 other families is hard to wrap your head around. And again, I don't understand why this hasn't been discussed.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, with the recent rise in cases, investigators like King have their work cut out for them.
It's a very painstaking process to try and understand who's behind it.
Quietly tracking down those responsible for a sophisticated scam that's growing.
So far, this is the stuff of nightmare for homeowners. Concrete tips, what can you do?
Well, Adrienne, at the heart of these cases is identity theft. And one of the things that I've been hearing from experts is the importance of keeping your government ID safe. So if you're renting out your home, one of the things to consider is maybe making sure no one else has access to your mail. But the big one, like the really big one that everyone talked about, is title insurance. So if you own property and you don't have to, maybe it's something you want to consider getting. If you do find yourself targeted by one of these scams, it puts the onus on the insurance company to do all the heavy lifting to make sure you get your house back, and it covers the cost. And if you're the buyer, it makes sure that you don't lose any money in the transaction.
Okay, Farah, I know you have a lot more stories on this to come. We'll be watching. Thank you.
You're welcome.